positive reinforcement. You are doing a good job today. What's up, everybody? Steve Seminaro here, the 8th grade dropout, and today we're going to talk about leadership. One of my favorite topics of all time. It is one of the things that if you understand and you can implement in your life, you can do so much more. If you learn how to be a leader, the world is your oyster. What does it mean to be a leader? Let's find out. All right, leadership. What is it? First and foremost, let's talk about what it's not. It's not just a title. Hear that. Because everybody wants a position of leadership and a position of power. Our culture kind of has a need for status, recognition, positions of power. But I'm here to tell you, leadership, the way I understand it, it's not about power. What it is about responsibility. Let that sink in. Let that be something that resonates in your brain for a little bit. Let it marinate, because it matters. Your ability to lead will firmly be connected to your ability to take that responsibility on your back. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you just a little bit more about my experience with leadership. At a very young age, I don't know why, but I was given responsibilities that I could not live up to. I became a shift lead, I became an assistant manager, I became a manager. I was given these positions of power, but I didn't have the knowledge, I didn't have the wisdom, I didn't have the patience, I didn't have the understanding to be able to back up and fulfill that position in the way that I could have, maybe should have. Not enough of a pull, more of a push type of manager, because I had an outgoing personality and it was my job to make sure the place was clean and everybody needs to listen to me. If you've been there, raise your hand. I have. I've also been in those roles when I had a somewhat high level of responsibility placed on my shoulders. I was managing a multi-million-dollar service center. A lot of technicians, a lot of service advisors, all on my shoulders. Let me tell you, I learned so much there by mistakes. It's those mistakes that helped me grow. I had good people working for me, but I did not know how to bring the best out of them. I didn't understand this one thing. What I didn't understand is, in order to lead them effectively, you need to be able to understand what's in it for them. I didn't know that back then because I was typically coming about my leadership and managerial responsibilities from the what's in it for me perspective. So when I went to somebody in those early years, I approached everything from a, hey, I need you to do this. Are you getting this? Does this get you like it gets me? We're gonna call this leadership 1, because that's really what I'm talking about. Leadership is not so much what you get people to do, and I think it's a lot more about what you get people to think. It's a lot more about how you make people feel. It's a lot more about how you get people to believe past where they are. One of my topics I've probably discussed with every manager that I've ever had in our ranks is that person, that imperfect individual that you're leading, that's in it for themselves, that you can't get the unselfish out of, is looking for somebody to stick by them, to correct them. Not every single one, mind you, but a lot of them are. I would say 70, 80%, the middle. You know, there's some that are perfect all the time. There's some that are perfect never of the time. I know I said that. But there is a group that they're movable. They're swayable towards good. That's on us. And you can't lead them based on where they are at today. Let me say it again. You can't lead them based on where they're at today. You need the ability. And this comes from the caring. This comes from the empathy side. This comes from a position of compassion sometimes, and at least a position of vision for what that person could be. Most of the people that I've worked with don't know their own strength, don't know their own capabilities. The world has kind of pushed them down and told them they can't. Our job is to find unique things about each person. God, I wish I could bottle this up and drink it, because I could use this every day myself. I think about this often. Each person has a unique set of experiences and skills, and what you need to be able to do, essentially, love that person before they're lovable, in a sense. Before you know them, find out their dreams, find out their hopes, find out what they like to do. I'm not saying that everybody gets to choose what they like to do and what they don't. Those kind of demands are typically dictated by the job itself. But what do they like to do? This is a topic that, should you jump in and understand at an early point in your life, man, the sky is your limit. I was managing a multi-million-dollar service center for a huge corporation with no automotive experience. Zero. Nothing. I didn't even, and I still don't like, I'm not the car guy. Let me tell you, I was not hired because I knew a lot about cars. I was hired because I had demonstrated strong customer service skills over and over, and maybe a decent level of business acumen. But I was just pretty young for that level of responsibility. And you know who you are out there. That gave me responsibility, that gave me opportunities. This one is where a lot of people swing and miss in a huge way. Positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. You are doing a good job today. Wow, it works. I want to scream it from the rooftops sometimes. Positive reinforcement gets forgotten so many times. So you're going to that person that you've never talked to except for the moment they got hired and the little bit of training. You're walking around, you're busy all the time, you're not giving them much attention, but every time they screw up, boy, you let them know. You let them know beyond the shadow of a doubt what they did wrong and why they did it wrong. Sorry if I got in your face a little bit there. But I know that hurts. It's a little painful. Positive reinforcement. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Rock solid foundation for leadership. If you want the best out of your people, if you want to get the most from them, then you need to recognize it's not just about their paycheck. They're working because they have to. They're working because they have to. But after that, if you want their heart and their mind, then you need to be able to answer that question for them. What's in it for them? Positive reinforcement has to be there on a consistent basis. And here's the kicker. Here's something that I want you to underline in your notes if you're taking notes. It can't be faked. You can't manipulate somebody. They know if you're sincere. They know. I had a guy that we had as a manager, and he was great about saying, oh, you did a good job, and you did a good job, but never did he take the time. Always remember this. Never did he take the time to say, you know, here's what you're doing a good job. Today is the day that you can turn over a new leaf into a much more rewarding and fulfilling experience as a leader if you start to put these things into practice.